Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. It's time to use it up or throw it out. So yeah, I'm starting a new series today. They'll all be individual videos, you don't need to watch them all, just watch the ones that take your fancy. And today I'm going to be using up some really naff, dodgy, thin, poor quality envelopes. I can't bring myself to just throw them in bin, but I'm going to have to throw some of them in bin because I don't think there's enough hours left in my life to use all the ones I've got. This is just a small selection. So when I say throw it out, do I mean chuck it in bin? No. Take it to a charity shop, give it to a friend. Yeah, do whatever. Anything to try and save it from landfill. So what have I done with these? Well, they're too thin to use, I think, as envelopes. I've made before some that flip out from side of my junk journal pages, and these are so thin that I'd have to reinforce them and mess about with them, and by the time I'd done, I might as well have just made a flip out with some decent quality card or paper, and it would have been a lot less easier and a lot less trouble. So I'm gonna just make these into bases, and I'm gonna make some of these. Very simple, very easy. I'm going to show you a few variations that I've got in my head. This was just my first one, and I've just used some single-sided scrapbook paper to make a pocket on front, so we can then use that to pop a tag in. So yeah, am I prepared? Am I heck? Do I have a tag ready? No, because I just basically made that and thought, ooh, let's do a video. So yeah, just use it to pop a tag in. You can even put another pocket there and make two pockets. You could make it double-sided. I've left this one so you could write on back, or you could glue it into a junk journal. But you could put another one on back. You don't have to use two envelopes, so it would be like so. Yeah, let's just mess about and just get some of them used up. Right. Let's crack on. Firstly, I'm going to need to seal some of these envelopes up. If you look at this one, I did put a little bit of glue inside envelope, but it's wrinkled, and I don't really think I need to. Yeah, like we say, angry baboons are not going to come and tear it apart, are they? They might rip it off side of a page, but they're not going to rip it apart like that. Now, I've gone ahead and glued a few. I'll do a few more. So, grab my glue. I'm just using my glue stick, and all I've done is just glued the flap down, and then I'm going to cover this side up with the paper so that I've got a nice clear side to write on, or glue down, or do whatever. Now I've got three sizes of them here. I mean, these, look, the quality of these are rubbish. I mean, I know I've got some of these off market for 25p. You can just see they're terrible. Or I've got them off eBay. I've got them in charity shops. I'm good at picking things up on market stalls. Yeah, and you just know half the time they've ended up there for a reason, haven't they? Well, these obviously haven't been put together properly. They're very wonky. But they're good enough for my junk journal. But I wouldn't use them as an envelope. You can, oh my word, look at that. I'm going to measure this one for you. That is, oh my word, I just sew it. That's that big at top, and it's a good, what, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch bigger at bottom. So are they all the same? Do you know, I think they may just be fit for bin. I'm not going to use them little ones. They're not even good enough for this. Oh word, my word, even. I've got this other size here. I'll use that. Ecky thump. I suppose I could just... Yeah, we'll try another one of them little ones. I mean, there's wonky, isn't there? And then there's like... Wow. It's like a donkey's hind leg, as my mother would say. So that's that. I'm not going to make you watch me seal a load of envelopes. I did go ahead and do some ready. In fact, I did do some little ones. That one's a bit straighter, I think. Yeah, it depends on individual envelope. I picked an extremely wonky one there. So yeah, that's all I've done to seal edges. Now you can go as fancy as you want with these. This one, I've just put the paper on. You could sew around those three edges after. You could sew all the way around the paper before you stick it on. You could put some more stuff on. I think that one What I will do on that one is stick a label on it and call it done. My favourite labels of the moment. Do we really want another do we really want another butterfly on it? Or does it just look... Actually, I like it. I like it with just another butterfly on. So I'm going to put another butterfly on that. Call it done. Because the idea of these is to make them just quick and easy. I'll make a lot that I don't even decorate at all. I quite like that. Looks good. There we go. Then pop a tag in it, do whatever. Let me grab my random tag box. Here we go, random tags. These are all my tags that are near to being finished or just don't have a home. And I'm just going to pop one in. What we got here? Oh, that's not even finished, but that can go in for now. There we go. Just pop a tag in it. You can put that down in your junk journal. You could glue it on 3 sides, make a side tuck. Glue it on 3 sides, make another top tuck. Or you can just pop that itself into a pocket. I quite like that. Might decorate that one up and leave it in. So, what else have we got? Right, another thing that I need to use up, because I've got lots of, is scrapbook papers, single-sided, which is what I used for that first one. I've used some from this Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady pack. I've never really featured this because I don't really like it that much. The front looks absolutely gorgeous. It was in Hobbycraft in the UK. Loved it so much I bought 2. Then when I looked inside, I were a bit like, oh, I don't like that. And it's the 4 of each. 32 sheets, 8 designs. Yes, so there's 4 of each, isn't there? So there's only 8 different designs. I didn't like that one. That one's a bit... I made envelopes after it. They were okay for them. That one is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I could have done with a full pad of them. Then we've got that one, which is... Yeah, it doesn't scream Edith Holden. Country Diary to me. It's just blue leaves. If I ever do a blue project. That one I love. That does say Edith Holden to me. Then which have we got next? That one. Sorry, really don't like that at all. I can't even begin to tell you what's wrong with that one. You might like it, I don't. That one, it's a bit... Yeah, that background needs to be paler. The colours don't even go with the Edith Holden book pages. See what I mean? They just don't go. They don't go. That one is a bit meh. And is that all 8? Yeah? That's them all. Yeah, well, note to write home about. And you ladies who watch me overseas probably can't get older it anyway. So I'm using it up in a use up your stash video. So let's do it. This envelope was perfectly sized. I'm going to make another one with one of these because these will go in my Edith Holden Junk journal. I'll tell you the size of the envelope if I can find my ruler. Here we go. The envelope is 4.5 by 6 3/8. So that is perfect if you've got these. Let me show you. You know, if you've got any of these are them. Yeah, what are they called? Project Life cards. You could use those as the tags to go in. You could perhaps even use those on the envelopes to make pockets. But yeah, I just thought, yeah, they'll be spot on. So don't you fall, we don't want another craft lunch in his hands. So I'm going to... I left rather a big gap last time because I wanted an even gap all the way around. This time I want my pocket to be a little bit bigger so I can perhaps stick one of them Project Life cards in it. And that'll be spot on. Move them out from underneath so people can see what you're actually doing, woman. So I've just left an evenish... I mean, you can see envelopes are not that square. An evenish border each side. I'm going to mark that with my pencil. And that's where I'm going to cut it. So grab my chopper. Got a chopper. And I'm going to cut it where my pencil mark is. We know the height's okay. But you could make it shorter if you wanted to. It just so happens that my 6x6 papers fit nicely on there. And I'm just going to grab a punch. I've got my 2-inch circle punch this time. I think I used a smaller one before. And I'm just going to put a little notch in top like that. That's the universal symbol of this is a pocket, isn't it? Now ink it if you want to. I think I'm going to give this one a little bit of ink. And yeah, dip it in your ink, woman. Then it'll work better. There we go. While I'm inking, I've got a slight apology to make. Last Saturday, I did my video and I put it up as what's called a premiere. Now, if you don't know what a premiere is, that's the video's pre-recorded, just like this one is. But when you put it up as a premiere, there's a live chat. Yeah, so you can all interact in real time, and I can be there and answer questions and say hello and throw you out if you're inappropriate, which I never had to do that with anyone. Nor did my friend Shirl, she's on YouTube at Crafty Shamrock Designs. She was in there to help me because it was the first one I've ever done. And yeah, a lot of people were upset they didn't get notifications, but I have to say, I only decided to do it an hour before I did it. I was just uploading my video, getting it ready while chatting to Shirl, and yeah, we decided to do that. I mean, live's not for me. I'd have a nervous breakdown trying to work stuff and craft. One day I tried one once and it were a little bit chaotic. And all I were doing is showing a journal that I'd made. I weren't actually crafting. And yeah, stressed me out too much. Right, let's glue that on there. As you can see, I got very wonky at first. I just wiggle it, wipe your glue off, you'll be right. So, there we have it. One pocket. Now, you could go ahead and put another pocket on the other side. Could perhaps put a short pocket on. And you don't have to glue it into a journal. You could, in fact, I'm going to do it on the next one. I'm not going to tell you what you could also do, because I'm going to do it. Let's grab another sealed envelope. So we don't have to wait for them to dry, because I did them earlier. And I'm going to grab, I've got some 12x12 papers that are really nice and single-sided. As it happens, these are also from Hobbycraft. A friend bought me these, Zoe, from, Zoe, I forgot. I forgot what your name is on Instagram. I'm terrible. I will link Zoe. She does some gorgeous stuff. And yeah, I want to use one of these. I just did alter the light slightly. It's one of them days here today where we've got dark clouds. Oh, I'm going to use that one. That's pretty. We've got dark clouds and blue sky. So, lights in and out. So I do apologise for that. I'll try and alter it a little bit in editing if I can. Right, so this time I think I'm going to do a shorter pocket. Yeah, I am. And I know that's 12 inches. I'm just going to try and make the most of it by cutting it. I'm going to make this a little bit, I'd like to see a little bit more brown than I saw on that one. Go back in your box. Get in your box, out my way. There you go. I'll cut that there. And when I've cut it, I'll carry on waffling about premieres. And what I'm going to do next. What Julie did next. Or what Julie will do next. Right, I'm just lining that mark up with edge of my trimmer. And it is just under 5. Are we sure? Are we sure I've got right mark there? No. There's a little mark on top of paper I was lining that I put it wrong place. That would have gone terribly wrong. That's my pencil mark. There we go. So that's due. Oh, it's about 4.5, yeah. So 4.5. And then I can cut another one at 4.5 and do some more. Because these do go nicely with my Edith Holden journal. So I can do, is it 4.5? No, I totally messed that up, haven't I? Totally messed it up. Make bigger marks, woman. Make bigger marks. And it's not because I can't see where the mark is on my Tim Holtz trimmer. There just happen to be a lot of little marks at the top of there. So it's just over 4 1/4. You silly Billy. So I'll cut another one just over 4 1/4. I knew my envelope was 4 1/2 wide, so I knew something had gone awry there. I would have perhaps got a bigger strip if I'd not cut the first one incorrectly, but hey ho. That's how we get scraps, isn't it? We make mistakes and we do things wrong. Right, get your envelope back. Yeah, that were a bad one. Look at all these little marks at top. Can you see them? And I was mistaking those for my pencil mark. Silly woman. I do have one of those pens that rubs out. Now this time I'm going to make it go so far up. Perhaps yay far up. Yeah. And this time I'm going to make sure there's no other marks in my way. So I want it about that long, and I'm going to do one on both sides. Get your little trimmer for this, because it fits on your desk. So that makes it, it's nearly 4, I'm going to make it 4 1/2. And I'll do another one at 4 1/2. And where are my tops? They're both tops, and I'm going to put some more notches in. I mean, once you've worked out the size you want, you can just go ahead and mass make loads. Mass make to your heart's content. Yeah, so that can go there. We'll get that. I'm not going to ink it quite as heavily as my last one. I went a bit mad on that. And you will notice I'm using offensive corners for once. That's because for around those, I'm going to have to glue them. That's too much like hard work. Just a light inking. So let's glue this one on. Put it on the desk, woman, and then you'll get it a bit straighter. Whee! Yeah, the premiere, because I only decided to do it an hour before, that's why not everyone got notifications. Also, YouTube doesn't send everyone notifications unless there's a little bell next to the subscribe button, and you have to click on that and alter it to all, and then it will send you all notifications. Otherwise, it'll just send you some. It'll depend on how often you watch my channel, how often I put videos up, how well my videos are doing, how long a piece of string is. So yeah, unless you click all, you'll not get all notifications anyway. But I do promise, the next time I do a premiere, I'll give you more notice. In fact, I'll tell you now, I'm going to do one this coming Saturday, which is Saturday the 1st of June. And it's going to be at 2 PM UK time, which is, I know it's 8 AM in Oklahoma, because that's where my friend Shirley is, and that's what time it were for her. Because I think you're between 5 and 7 hours behind me in USA, and then rest at world. It will show you on your YouTube in your local time what time the premiere's up. So once I've recorded the video and popped it up to go live as a premiere, it will show in your local time wherever you are, so you won't have to go and convert that time. So yeah, and I'll be there in chat. It will be a pre-recorded video, but you'll be there. When I do something wrong, you can even say in chat, "You silly woman." Yeah. I mean, when I put a video up, I like to be there for a couple of hours anyway after it goes live to answer comments, unless I fall asleep, because sometimes when I put them up late I may fall asleep. Look at that, I quite like that. Now you can put something there if you want, you don't have to. I think that's quite thick enough for the top. I mean, you could put a tab on the top or whatever. So it doesn't have to just be like that basic one I did. I mean, you could angle that to make it look like a tag. Especially if you were going to sew around the edge, it wouldn't matter that you'd open it up. If you weren't going to sew, you'd have to... Well, let's do it. Stop talking about what you could do and just do it, woman. Just do it. I know that's someone else's catchphrase and I've stolen it. Where's my long scissors gone? There we go. They were right under my nose. So there we go. Now I'm going to pinch that bit, pop it over there and cut that corner off. Don't cut your finger, it's underneath. Don't cut your finger off, woman. You'd miss it. Right, now I'm just going to grab, because can you see what's happened? That's open. If you're a sewer and you're sewing around edge, not an issue. I don't know if I'm going to sew these. It depends if I can be bothered. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in there, just to seal that bit up. And the same again with that side. Use your preferred glue. There we go. So basically we're just using envelopes in place of cardstock, aren't we? Which I like them for that, because it doesn't add too much bulk to your junk journals. On its own it will be flimsy, but with this cardstock on either side it's fine. And there we go. And I'm going to put some journal cards in made from book pages. I've got an awful lot of these book pages. I've been doing this while my mojo's been waning a little bit. I've just been gluing book pages to tea-dyed paper. Yeah, that's... Ta-da, ta-da. I've got lots of them. It's not rocket science, so... Oh, that's just a piece of paper. So I'm not going to show you how I do it on camera. It's not really a video, is it? You don't need to know that. Look at that. That might even be the right width if I've not gone too mad with glue. I've gone a bit mad with glue. So let's use one at pattern ones. Oh, that'll look nice sticking out there, won't it? Yeah, I don't mind losing a bit of my book page. And yeah, I've already glued it down. But at least I know I'm going to get a nice edge. So I'm going to cut that down. There, I'm going to cut a little bit off that side. I know I'm going to lose... Oh, will I? I don't know. I'll keep the writing on. There you go. I mean, I haven't measured it. I've just guessed it. And then I'm going to cut some off the bottom so that it stops at around there. So I'll cut it off just below that orange. It's a marigold. And I can use that bit then. That could make the base of a little pocket. Put a cluster on or something. I'm over measuring all the time these days. I really am. So that goes in there. I like it. I could have made it taller. That's one pocket, one tag. And then I'm going to use that one as my guide for making another tag. Thistles. Do we want the word thistles on it? Yeah, we'll have the word thistles on it. And I'll put thistles on the other side. I'll make that one a little bit taller. And I'll shape it as a tag shape. I'm just placing that on top to see if it's roughly the same size. Could be a little bit bigger, could be a little bit smaller. I can live with it either way. I think I'm going to make that one tag shaped. I'm just going to take a little bit off. I'll do that. So I am going to lose some at word thistles, but hey ho. I want it tag shaped. So that one can go in there. Let's make that one tag shaped as well. I know we're going to lose some of his words. There we go. I can hear birds tweeting again outside. Seems to have got a lot out back this year. And there we go. If you want to put a label on, put a label on. If not, not. I'll fancy them up ready for thumbnail. Right, let's make one out of a bigger envelope. So that's the big one. Have I got one of them ready sealed? I have. I'll measure it for you. Look at the state of my desk. I'm just such an untidy crafter. That one. Fling! That one is 8.5 by 4 and 4 and just over a quarter. So that's 8.5 by 4 1/4 ish. Now, depending on the height of your journal, that might be too tall. But I've got another idea for that one then. It's far too tall for my liking. Where have I put my pre-glued ones? Do you know, if I had a brain, I really would be dangerous. Where have they gone? I don't know. I've lost them. Let's just glue another one. Whee. Yeah, you've got it all on your desk, woman. It'll rub off. There we go. Right, so idea I've had, rather than... we could do that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. They're so thin, there's not going to be a lot of bulk created. Oh, that's good. I love it when we make ideas up as we go along. Right, I'm going to glue that after inking just there. I said I weren't going to ink and now I'm inking. Phyllis will be happy. I've sorted out who the inking Phyllis is and who the inking Phyllis aren't. It's weird because when I mentioned, for those of you who don't know what on earth I'm on about, I had a lady called Phyllis say that she missed it when people fast forward the inking because she actually likes to watch the inking. So whenever I ink now I say it's for Phyllis. And it brought all Phyllis's art at woodwork. I had a couple of Phyllis's who regularly commented anyway, and then it's like all Phyllis's came out. So hello Phyllis. I could do that on every video, couldn't I? So on this video I want all the Marys to comment. So if your name's Mary, leave me a comment, yeah? I'll just pick a name at random. I'll forget by next video. Yeah, so there'll only be Phyllis and Mary get a turn at that. Right, oh, I should have inked that edge and I forgot. Not a bother. Grab a piece of scrap paper. Oh. Do you ever do this? You've got all this scrap paper, then you need one just to use as a piece of scrap that's not you're gonna do anything else with, and you just don't know which one to choose. I'm like that. There we go. That got that edge inked. Sorted. Now this time what I'm going to do, slightly different then. Have I got a piece left? You know, the extra piece left from that. It'll be too wide, won't it? Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's just a smidgen too wide. I'm going to start with a fresh piece. I'm going to use another piece of this. I mean, you could even use book pages for this. I'm using the scrapbook paper because I've got too much of it and I want to use it. So yeah, do that. In fact, I'll mark it on the back this time so I don't get lost with it. Cut it there and cut it there. And that one will be maybe wide enough for one of those small envelopes. Oh yeah, that'll be okay. I'm talking to myself now. Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm thinking about what to do. Yeah, I could have just used a book page for this. Now I've folded it up because that's given it a lot more sturdiness. I've made ones before where we've folded stuff up. I've made that a bit too wide, so I'm just going to nibble a little bit off the edge. I didn't like it that wide. And I am still going to make this 2 pockets by using that and putting a notch in. Let's do its little bit of inking. Whee. I'll put that on there. And then you could have a pocket there and a pocket there. So again, I'm just going to glue up the sides. And I'm holding this in the wrong place. I normally hold the side where I'm not putting glue, that I don't have to rotate it. And I don't put glue at the wrong side. I'm forgetting my own rules. Whee. There we go. So yeah, so that you know it's a pocket and not just decoration, I've left a bigger gap there than at the bottom. So that's that, I like that. And then on the other side, I'll just put one on. But No, I'm just going to put a full sheet on because I want to. Because I want to. Mark it on the back, woman. Every time I don't mark on the back, I always have someone in comments suggest it. And I've finally remembered. And I said that to people a lot. It will take me a long time to remember to do it. So if I've forgot, just jog my memory on a little bit. And I'll do it. I'm going to go back down a bit so I can put a tab top on there. So we've got the width. I just want the length. Yeah, I'm creating scraps. I was watching a video by, is it Jezza? Now Jezza Creates over the weekend, and she hit the nail on the head. We do these videos to use up scraps, and all we ever do is create more. So yeah, I've created scraps using up stuff. We're always going to have scraps, aren't we, as paper crafters? We just are. It's how extreme you want to go in using up those scraps, isn't it? And yeah, I think I look back to when I first started junk journaling. I saved every little scrap. Well, I used to do that as a card maker and a mini album maker anyway, so I were already quite ahead of the game with the amount of scraps I got. And now it's like, I've got more scraps than new supplies. I really have. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, you've just got to go in the recycling, mate. You really have. Whee. I'd like to think they're recycled responsibly, but you never know these days, do you? Ooh. I've got a new plan for recycling a load of cardboard. Some of my garden is just so overgrown, it's just unusable. So, I'm getting someone to come in and just chop it all down, and then I'm covering it with cardboard and then mulch. Yeah, I've been busy watching videos on it. It looks fabulous. Whee. So what we've got there, we've got one pocket, 2 pockets, and you can just put anything you want in. I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm going to leave that one as is. Right, let's get another one of the tall envelopes. I don't know how I've lost the ones I pre-glued. It's because I'm untidy. Oh, here we go. That's a pre-glued one. I think I only did 1 or 2 at long ones. And I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know. No. I'm just going to leave this one full length, because then you can pop it in a journal. It will stick out at the top a little bit if you're in the UK, because our pages are only 8 1/4. Depends how big your covers are. If, say, your journal's 9 inches tall, it'll stick up above your pages, but not your journal. So I'm going to do a full-size one. And this time, I've got another botanical page. So this one will be too big, I think, for my Edith Holden journals. But I will find something else to put it in. I've got this page. What's happening now? Stop wrecking, joint woman. Just throw some into shot. Put your lid on your glue. Put your pin in your glue. You've lost your pin now, haven't you? Where's it gone? Here it is. It's buried. Take that little bit off that started drying and put your pin in. Then you won't have to poke your needle in it for 3 days before you get any glue out. Right, I've got this. I love this sheet. I don't want to cut them out individually. They've not got defined edges. But I just love it. I love it. And I think I want to put it on here. But I can't. I'm going to have to cut a bit from the middle. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use it as a journal page. Sorry to tease you with that. I'm not going to use it. I've got this. I love this page as well. I want to get the budgie on. I want to get the... It's not even a budgie. I think it's some kind of... I don't know. It could be a yellow hammer. I don't know. It's a bird that's yellow. It's never been a budgie. It's not a canary. It could be a fake bird. I don't know. There's a lot of fake birds out there. It's like fake news in it. People just make up a bird. Make it up as you go along. Right, so that is going to be on there. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to use the whole thing. So I'll mark it for the width because I forgot how wide it were. I think I'm going to have a little bit of that much border. Like I said, if you're mass making these, just cut a load as you go. This time I can see the mark and I'm not going to confuse it with marks on the paper. So it's just over, it's 4 1/8 of an inch. 4 inch and 1/8, so I'm going to cut another couple of those. 4 inch and 1/8. Well, that's not a full sheet. Yeah, of course, 3/4 make 12, don't they? I've got a slightly smaller one now. So I've lost ability to add up as well. Oh no. At least I'm having fun using up my stuff. Having fun. I hope it's fun to watch. Right, on this one, I think I'm going to cut all that top off. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to cut this one just above that. Just above that. I'm not measuring because I can't be bothered. Measuring's... yeah. Not measuring's the new measuring. There we go. Then I think I'm going to keep that as a one-sided one so you can journal. And just have one tag in top, yeah. So I've not used the bird. I'll use the bird on another one. So yeah, let's make 2 at once. Make 2 at once. Practice what you preach, woman. Mass making. So cut it there. There you go. That's 2. Could use those for small pockets. Oh, I'll make another one and use those 2 up. So that's for 1. This one's not glued yet, so I'll get my glue book back out. My plan when I started this was to end it with at least 10, because then I can call that a decent mass make. I mean, I've done mass makes in the past where I've managed to do 3. That's not a mass make. But oh dear, we've crinkled it. Oh no, we've got a crinkle going on. That's how thin envelopes are. Just crinkled it, smoothing it down. But I'm not going to throw the crinkly envelope out with the bath water. Right. Put them flap side up. I'm going to put my notches in the top. So another advantage to mass making, you can do your notches at the same time. These ones I'm not going to ink. We've done enough inking today, people. We really have. I could make an extra pocket on bottom. I could. I might do that on these because they're so long. Grab your glue. Eee. Comes out straight away when you remember to put your pin in. Take note. Whee. So if anyone who missed that bit, there will be a premiere on Saturday the 1st of June at 2 PM UK time. When you see it go up, I'm hoping to film the video Thursday. So when you see it go up, I'll get it up the day before Friday, maybe Thursday night. It will tell you the time in your local time, wherever you are in the world. That looks okay. Look at me. I'm over having even gaps everywhere. I need the even gaps. I need each side to match-ish. But I think, again, you can see that these envelopes are not fully square. No way are they square. They're the cheapest of the cheap. I know I got Walnut packs for 25p for like 50 envelopes. So what do you expect, woman? It's not going to be top-notch quality. But when you pair it with some yummy paper, I think it saves it. And, oh, we've got the dog barking again now. It's probably barking at my cat. Oh, Nala, she's so funny. Thank you to everyone who commented on my community post yesterday with Nala. She was just... I'll tell you what was up with her. My next door neighbour was doing some work on the front of my garden. they were putting some, they were digging up the turf, putting down some liner and putting some stone chippings on it. And we kept gnarling because there were a lot of dirt. It started to rain while they were doing it, but he carried on. It's easy actually, if you don't mind. He's a builder, he's used to working in rain. He said it were easier to dig it up, so left him to it. We have like a little shared bit at front, me and next door, so we're doing it all to match. He's good like that. And we kept gnarling because one time we let her out, she came in with such dirty paws. We had to hold her while we cleaned her feet, and she was not an happy bunny. But then she was twitching because she couldn't go out. So everywhere we were, the cat was glaring at us. So she was sat on the banister, top of banister outside my craft room, glaring at me. And then later on, when we went to watch telly, she was sat on my little lap desk, glaring at me again. But she'd managed to get all her feet on one small little bit of paper. Absolutely mad. Yeah, she did a lot of tail flicking yesterday. She was not happy because we wouldn't let her out when rain stopped, because it was just a bit of a quagmire out there. Right, that's those two I like. Now these are the bits. I don't want to put a pocket there and cover that yummy paper up. I'm just going to leave that as is. Yeah, and I'll put tags in. I'll make them from book pages, or ooh, that could make one, couldn't it? Because but it's so too samey, isn't it? Too samey. I just need to cut a sliver off and it would fit. But I'd much rather just use that. I could use that as a side pocket in a junk journal. That's the kind of scrap that I will use. That will not get relegated to the waste bin. So we've got a couple of tall ones. We've got the tall one made into a short one. I'm going to make some more. We've got a double-sided one. And a couple of single-sided ones I made before. I think I need to make some more tags for them. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 6 there. So I'm just going to waffle on now while I make some more. I think I really want to use some of these. Let's use my lines on here to see. That's not as wonky as the first one was, is it? That one's usable. I'm going to use that. Let's see if any of these bits paper are at it right width. I could go fishing in my scrap bin, but do you know what? I can't be bothered. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, we like that one. So I've just said I can't be bothered to fish in my scrap bin, and what have I done? I'm fishing in my scrap bin. I'm going to cut that one down to fit on. Because I can. Turn it the other way around, woman. Oh, oh. Oh, I like that. I like that on both sides. Ooh. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 2 pockets on here. So I'm just going to mark that there. So when you're making a mass mate, they don't all have to be exactly the same, do they? No, they don't. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that. Just randomly. Didn't measure it. I'll tell you how big envelope is again. It's it's 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Is that right? No, 5.5 inches. So I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to put another pocket on. That, then that. Yay! Because it were a little bit in your face, all them flowery roses, wouldn't it? So I'll put 2 notches in. I think that rose needs to go that way up. I don't know whether it's directional. Sometimes even when it's not directional, it looks better in a certain direction, doesn't it? Yes, it does. There you go. And we're not inking again, because I don't want to. And I'm going to make 2 pockets. 1, 2. Now I'm not gluing the bottom of this, and I'm going to put it there, because then whatever you put in that pocket can go further down. And I'm just going to put that one there overlapping. There's not much area at bottom where you're going to get the tags occupying the same space, but it saves again on bulk. Makes it a little less bulky. Whee. So you could sit and make these all day. You could get your scraps out, your larger scraps. You could use anything for your base, anything for your pockets. You could get your scoreboard out and make gusseted pockets. But that I like. So that's just perfect in a junk journal. If you want to stamp on that bit, you can. I'm quite happy with it, but that is really winding me up. So that's got to go. Just go. There you go. At the end. So that's that one. I'm just going to grab some more envelopes now and do some more making. Have I used all the ones that are glued, or are these? Here we go. I've found the ones I glued. I've just buried them, haven't I? Oh, look, we've got loads to go at. So let's see how many more I can make now in the next... Another 15 minutes takes this video to an hour long. So let's see how many I can make in 15 minutes. And this time I'm going to use book pages, because these are definitely going in my Edith book. And I've grabbed some random Edith Holden book pages. Some people are going to be like, no, you can't cut them up, but I'm sorry, yes, I am going to cut them up. I've got a lot like this left. When I cut them down to put in journals, they look odd. And I'm not using them because they're double-sided. So I've got to decide which side is going to go on something and use it. And I'm going to put some of them on these envelopes. I just am. So, what is it? Use it up or throw it out. And I want to use some of these envelopes up. Right. I want to put that flower on. And I'm going to get some of the swallow on. I'll get a bit more at swallow on if I cut some of the edge of that off, won't I? Yeah. I'll cut that down to there. I'll get some more of the swallow on. Yeah. So I'm going to wing this and cut it. Don't scream at me. Cut some off bottom first, woman, because you know you don't need it that long. If you've cut it too much off, I'll just make envelopes shorter. Look at me guessing it. Poor swallow. Yes, I've cut your head off. I do apologise. Oh, that's just... Could that not be any more perfect? That's perfect. This one, again, I'm not inking. You don't need to ink everything. And the Edith Holden book pages are sturdy enough to make a pocket. Oh, that is lovely. Yep. Or am I inking? Right. Can you tell I just can't make my mind up? I can't make me... I've inked it. You know, because it had that aging at the top from the actual book page. I just think it needs it. And I'm sorry I've cut the swallow in half. And I will use all those other bits up as scraps in things. I will grade my scraps. Whee. It'll be perfect to make a few more clusters for the never-ending Edith Holden journals that I've been making for like 4 or 5 months. I will get them done. Never again will I try and make 6 journals in one go. I just don't have it in me. I don't have the room, to be quite honest. Oh, that side would have looked good. That reminds me of my mini album making days. A lot of ladies didn't eat. They used to cut their 12 by 12 papers up without even looking what they were going to get left with. And it always looked good. So stressing over what you're going to get is a little bit pointless. That would have stressed me though with butterflies being upside down. Yeah, I couldn't have dealt with that. Sorry. I wish I could remember the name of the lady who comments about loving the butterflies pointing down. I just can't, don't have it in me, sorry. Right, move your pencil, it's in your way. So I'll line the bottom up again, because I don't mind having more gap at top. I've got more gap at top when I just randomly chop this off. But that looks good. I mean, you can just use these as giant bookmarks then. Eee. And I know there'll be a lot of people thinking you could use those as envelopes. They're just too thin. I can't be bothered. I've got enough better quality envelopes to use as envelopes. I don't need to use these as envelopes. But I like them. I like the craft colour. So that's that one. And let's do another one. What we got? Again, I've not used it because it's nice on both sides. Do I want that one or that one? I think I like that better. I do. I really do. So I'm just going to straighten this edge up. I mean, if you want to go for the rip look, rip it. But I don't want that much of a ripped look. That's a little bit, taking it a bit too far for me, I'm afraid. This time I will measure the top. See whether I'm going to take off the blank space or the writing. I think I'm going to take off a bit of each. Yeah, we'll keep some of the writing on. If I take the top off that includes the number, I can then use that to make a label. Yeah, I just need to take a little bit off the bottom. Then I'll cut it to width I want. Where is it going to be? I'm going to have to mark this one. The last one I knew how far away from the little swallow's tail I was going to go. I like to wing it sometimes. I need it a little bit narrower, so I'm going to take it off this side. There we go. That should do us. Yeah, perfect. Put my little notch in. I'll have to see what these look like in my current Edith journals. Oh, that went a bit funny. There we go. Bit of ink. And I am going to take some of these to my sewing machine and sew around them. But you will see that in the thumbnail. I can be doing that while my video uploads. Not everyone's got a sewing machine. I don't tend to do a lot of sewing in my videos, but I do use sewn things in my journals. Whee. I like that. Yeah, I must have cut about 8 to 10 Edith Holden journals up in my junk journal in time. I used to sell a lot of them. I'd put one up on Etsy and then I'd get another half dozen people wanting one, so then I'd make them. But I'd make them one at a time and sell them as they were made. Making 6 at once is just too much. If I had a giant craft room where I could keep them all out until they were done, whereas now I'm having to pack them away and keep them in boxes. And it's a faff, an absolute faff. Because I don't have a room where I could keep them all out and keep the door shut to stop the cat deciding she was going to sit on them. And I don't want that happening. Right, pop this down. And if you know you're definitely going to sew, you can put a bit less glue on as well. But I do tend to like to glue as well as sew. Because if a thread breaks, you don't want the whole thing unravelling, do you? It'll still look good with a couple of broken threads, but it won't look good when it's all hanging off and in tatters. There we go. I quite like those big ones. They're really good. And again, I don't want to put anything on there. That is beautiful as it is. I'm not going to go sticking maybe a label. I don't know. I'll decide that as I put them in. Right, I want to now do a couple more of these. Is that the medium size one? Have I got another medium size one already glued? I don't know if I have. Let's glue one. Let's glue one. Yes, I didn't put the lid on my glue. So what time are we on now? It's 55. It took me 10 minutes to do those two. So that's like 5 minutes each, isn't it? So let's see if I can do 2 in 5 minutes. Because I like my videos to be about an hour long. Too much longer than that and I get bored. So I'm sure you do. Too much shorter and you want more. So what shall I put on these? Shall I do an Edith Holden book page? No. Tell you what I'm going to use. I'm going to use something from this book. I love this book and it's just about the right size when I've cut them out. But these I think they're just a little bit too thin for me to use as a pocket. I'd be scared of the top breaking. So I'm going to use the ones that I have already backed. So let's grab some of them. Oh, that's a different book. That's text. Text. What we got? I'm going to spend my 5 minutes looking here. Here we go. Just move all that to one side. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I just love that book. And I got it off eBay for a couple of £. Now, I'm going to have a lot of US ladies wanting to know. Find your US version. You've got beautiful flowers in US. You don't need this one from UK. Go and get the US version of it. Just go on your own eBay and look for botanical books. And you will have a US version. Find the book and then Google it. Or go on YouTube and put the book's title in and see if anyone's done a flip through. I don't do book flip throughs because I go off on tangents and forget to show you a book. But I know lots of people have. So that's how I do it. Oh, I like that one. What's the width like on that? That one's the perfect width, isn't it? Stop. They don't have to be the same, woman. They're going in different projects. You're going back into your matchy. Everything all has to be the same size mode there, wouldn't you? Mark it on the back. Mark it on the back. Yes, I've already backed these with tea-dyed paper. Had I known I were going to use them for this, I'd have perhaps just backed them with Amazon packaging paper. But I want to use them and I want to use them now. So there. That one's a bit too thin. So I'm just going to nibble the edges of this one down. Yeah, that's better. And I'll mark that one. I'm cutting off from the bottom because I don't mind losing some stems, but I like the tops of the flowers at the top. Love it. I think I've already cut some at page off there. I wish I hadn't, because now I'm going to lose a bit of flower putting a notch in. Hey ho. Such is life and all that. Oh. I caught that one in my mouth. I'm eating it. You silly woman. Oh, I like that. Again, do I need it inked? No, I'm not going to ink it. Don't need to ink everything. But because this is book page glued to paper, glue bottom as well, missus. These are the ones I am going to go around these with sewing machine, just to make sure my book page doesn't start peeling off my paper. I mean, I don't think it will. I've braided it down really good, and I did them a few weeks back. But yeah, I'm a bit of a belt and braces kind of woman. So now I've put this other layer of glue on. I mean, had I kept these as journal cards, I were going to sew around them anyway. When I'm selling things, I do tend to like to sew around anything if there's a slightest doubt that it could peel up. But I suppose when other junk journalers are buying these things and crafters, sometimes things like that just happen, don't they? Right, let's put you on here. beautiful. Oh, I think they're my favourite. I really do. And they're so simple. It's a book page stuck to an envelope. Couldn't get more simple than that. And look how gorgeous it is. If you want to stick a label on it, stick a label on it. I quite often use labels to cover up like roots. I don't like the look of roots, so that's a little bit... Ugh. So I might stick a label on that. Right, what time are we on? We're now on... Oh, it's 1 hour and 21 seconds. So I got 4 done in 15 minutes, which is not bad because I did a lot of waffling for others. So we did 4, 5, 6. I won't count that. 7, that's a double-sided one. 8, 9, 10. So I've done 10 altogether in my mass make in an hour. Those are the ones I did on camera, off camera first. So I've now got 12 of those in just over an hour. So yeah. Then zhuzh them up however you want. You'll see a bit of zhuzhing in the thumbnail. Just see what you can do. But the choice is yours. Yeah. Stick some tags in. Bob's your uncle. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's given you an idea as to what to do. I'm sure some of you have got these. Even if you've got some ugly cardstock, you could use cardstock for the back. If it's got plain on one side and ugly on the other, perhaps you can just bear to see a little bit of it poking out. But for these, I like the look of it with the envelopes. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will be back on Saturday at 2 o'clock and it will be a premiere so you can be in chat to have a waffle to me. So thank you all for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.